Are you familiar from public reports or otherwise that a CNN reporter was camped out outside of Stone's house when the FBI arrested him? This wouldn't be part of the investigation.
I am aware of that, and it was deeply concerning to me as to how CNN found out about that.
Well, that is I'm glad we're going down that road, Mr. Attorney General, because this is did somebody at the Department of Justice seemingly share a draft indictment with CNN prior to Stone's arrest? Prior to a grand jury's finding of a true bill?
Ranking Member Collins, the court had a sealed indictment that after Mr. Stone's arrest was unsealed. Consistent with all its prior indictments, the DOJ's basic policy for transparency in criminal cases is that the indictment is posted on the DOJ webpage promptly after it's unsealed, and then media outlets were notified.
Global exclusive video shows FBI directing CNN cameraman at Roger Stone raid. We're about to air that exclusive footage starting now. We're also going to upload the raw footage as we speak to that page on Infowars.com. I cannot overstate the importance of what you're about to see. Roger Stone, acting AG Whitaker, fuels flimsy conspiracy theory. That's Vox that calls for total censorship. That Mueller tipped off CNN about Stone's arrest when you even got them sending you emails with metadata showing they'd been sent the indictment the day before. And then acting AG Whitaker, deeply concerned that CNN was at Roger Stone raid. And now, this is at the center of hearings today, right as they're having the hearings. We couldn't have planned this better. We didn't. You just sent it on to the House and Senate Judiciary Committees as a good citizen. Somebody leaks out the weakest part of it to Sinclair, but now this is all starting to unfold. This is huge, Roger.
Well, and I'm told that Senator Collins from Maine questioned the FBI director today as to why CNN was permitted to be on the scene. If I was theoretically dangerous, which is the whole premise of their raid on my home, then why was a CNN camera crew allowed to set up 25 feet from my front door? My neighbors who were walking their dogs were told to go back in their homes because it was a dangerous situation. The street was sealed off to all traffic. So why was CNN allowed to stay there? And CNN's claim that they staked out my house every Friday for months is a lie. I have security camera footage that proves yet again that CNN is lying. Wolf Blitzer, Jake Tapper, Sarah Murray. These people are busted. They're not journalists. They're just liars. Now they'll hide behind their journalistic privileges. But the government doesn't allow that. So Mr. Mueller, Mr. Weissman, the FBI director, Mr. Wray, Mr. Pirro in Miami, they need to be questioned under oath about why the CNN crew was there, why they showed up 40, 50 minutes before the raid, and why they were allowed to set up their tripod exactly 9 minutes before I was taken.
And you have the FBI. You can see the whole setup. We're about to go to it, but let's play Acting Attorney General Whitaker from earlier today saying he is concerned, obviously, about this because it violates federal law, tipping people off about raids and warrants. It's very illegal. Here it is.
Are you familiar from public reports or otherwise that a CNN reporter was camped out outside of Stone's house when the FBI arrested him?
Thank you.
This wouldn't be part of the investigation.
I am aware of that, and it was deeply concerning to me as to how CNN found out about that.
Well, that is I'm glad we're going down that road, Mr. Attorney General, because this is did somebody at the Department of Justice seemingly share a draft indictment with CNN prior to Stone's arrest? Prior to a grand jury's finding of a true bill?
Ranking Member Collins, the court had a sealed indictment that after Mr. Stone's arrest was unsealed. Consistent with all its prior indictments, the DOJ's basic policy for transparency in criminal cases is that the indictment is posted on the DOJ webpage promptly after it's unsealed, and then media outlets were notified. We do not know of any, and I do not know of any other special counsel's office notice or DOJ notice to media outlets regarding Mr. Stone's indictment or his arrest. And
Given-
otherwise, you know,
Go ahead.
I really, as I sit here today, don't have any other information that I can talk about regarding Mr. Stone.
Okay, but Roger Stone does have that. We'll cover that next segment. But I mean, Roger, you can smell it, like the Whitaker. I mean, all of this, you can see that they know what's happening. We see all these criminal recommendations from the Inspector General of the Justice Department that FBI agents have been involved in criminal activity against Trump, against you, against others. This is a leftist cabal. It must be rooted out. I think we're getting very close to it, Roger.
Well, as you know, yesterday, Apple agreed to hand over my passwords to the Mueller investigative team. Now, they refused to turn over the passwords for the Pulse nightclub shooter or for the San Bernardino mass murderer because they wanted to protect their privacy rights. The reason I suspect they want my Apple ID is to see whether I destroyed any evidence or erased any files. The answer is no. Mr. Mueller, however, did erase the text messages of Mr. Page, of Mr. Stroke and Lisa Page, which is, of course, destruction of evidence. So there's a walking indictment right there, Mr. Whitaker. What are you waiting for? Or is it okay for them to destroy evidence? I have destroyed nothing. I have erased nothing. The records that they examine will be identical to the records they already have. 3 terabytes of data. But if the government thinks that they're not going to be able to hide the fact that they had me under surveillance in 2016, that they had an illegal warrant to surveil me during Donald Trump's presidential campaign, that they were eavesdropping on my conversations with candidate Trump, they're not going to be able to hide the ball, although they're going to try. The New York Times reported that on January 20th, 2017. You were with me that day in Washington, Alex. It blew our minds. The New York Times refuses to retract that story. The reporter insists it was correct and is correct. Why was I being spied on in 2016? We're going to get to the bottom of all of this.
And again, I've not been building this up here for the last 45 minutes without getting to the footage. There's just so many angles and who leaked it. And now you're about to see the real footage. And as we speak, I told Rob Dew 15 minutes ago, we've got the raw footage and then we've got it blown up of the FBI, literally like Stanley Kubrick or Steven Spielberg or James Cameron directing or I mean, so many other directors directing the whole thing. You can see it's like you're watching. Oh, that's a TV crew. Who are those? Oh, that's the director. They're telling him what to do. We have the whole thing, the whole setup, which is just fantastical. We're going to go to break. And of the Waterton Roswell Bear Creek, next segment we'll show the raw footage, and then we speed it up because it's 30 minutes of them sitting there, and then we'll give you the blown up footage. But it's all being uploaded to Infowars.com and Newswars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Please, folks, understand. They don't want a free and independent media in America. They don't want groups and organizations that are willing to stand up and tell the truth. They want a bunch of yes men. We're not that. But the power, I'm willing to go all the way against the globalists. I believe we can win. We've already had big victories. But they know that Infowars is a flashpoint, a focal point, a launch point, a rallying point, a signet, a standard, a flag of freedom and will, and what's left of Americana. But that little fire of Infowars has already set giant fires. And they're dealing with those fires right now, and they're worried that we're going to set new brush fires in the minds of men and women. Yes, we are. But only you can feel the sales. You are the Infowars. So spread the live links at Infowars.com/show. Spread the live link, global exclusive. FBI directed the raid on Stone's house with CNN. It's a scandal. It's in Congress in hearings today, and we have them. And it's a test of our will versus their will. Can you get the articles out? And then separately, the very best air filters, the very best water filters, the very best non-GMO heirloom seeds, the very best supplements. Everybody needs the highest quality turmeric. We've got bodies. Everybody needs the other great quality products like Super Silver Wound Gel that nobody else has got, FDA approved, or Brain Force Plus and the new Turbo Force, 50% off. Wars are like 12-round heavyweight boxing championship fights. It's about who wants it, who's prepared to go the longest, and who's ready to do the damage. We took on Hillary Clinton. We stopped her. We got a nationalist in. Nationalists are getting elected all over the world right now. We are winning. The Those of us who are at the very front line, at the tip of the spear, are under unprecedented attack. So I come to you each day and try to explain to you that this is a war of attrition. This is about who wants it most. And you know the persecution, the censorship, the sponsors they've taken, everything. I am in your hands, you are in my hands. I need financial support, and I got products you and your family need. It's that simple. Thousands of great products, whatever's award-winning, whatever's best-selling, what folks love, what I love, we bring it to you at InfoWarsStore.com. So please, go to InfoWarsStore.com today, look at all the great products, because we're in your hands, I'm in your hands, and your support is beyond critical. Thank you.